Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. I'm Kabir Naqvi and we're bringing you this special broadcast of Mandate 2023, a semi-final. This time around, not talking about cricket, talking about elections and politics. It's the semi-final towards the run-up to the 2024 general elections. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Madhya Pradesh goes to polls. So does Chhattisgarh in its second phase. We're going to bring you all the latest details from our studios here in the National Capital Region, styled exclusively by Paul Mall. Now, it's interesting to note here that Madhya Pradesh is going to polls today in a single-phase election for all the 230 seats. Now, as per the Election Commission of India, there are 5.6 crore voters in these 230 constituencies. Of these, 2.88 crore are male voters and 2.72 crore are going to be female voters. A total of 22.36 lakh youth are going to be voting for the first time in the state of Madhya Pradesh in these elections. Whilst many parties are contesting the polls, the primary competition in the Hindi heartland remains between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress Party. Visuals are on your screens as we see the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Kamal Nath, casting his vote. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he held a total of 15 public meetings in Madhya Pradesh, while State Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan addressed the highest 160 meetings in the state of Madhya Pradesh in the run-up to the polls, the single-phase polls to all the 230 seats. BJP National President JP Nadda, he held about 14 public gatherings, and State BJP President VD Sharma addressed about 55 public meetings. Not to compare right at the forefront early in the morning, even as the state goes for polling. The Congress Party in itself as well carried out a full-blown campaign in the state of Madhya Pradesh. There was a lot of jibes that were thrown at each other, from Murkho ke Sardar to you can call me whatever, but we will fight for the vote and the voice of the farmers. A lot of factors are at play over here, ladies and gentlemen. There is the anti-incumbency, you've got the Hindutva factor, there's factionalism. Of course, Scindia loyalists are not feeling very happy about what's happening within the party ranks and the party fold. But meanwhile, Adivasi and tribal vote is going to be a major factor, not just in Madhya Pradesh, but also in Chhattisgarh as well, which is the prime reason why ahead of the second phase of polls in Chhattisgarh, you had the Prime Minister Narendra Modi go visit Jharkhand and commemorate the tribal king Birsa Munda as well. Regional politics will also come in play over here. You've got the Gwalior-Morena belt, you've got the Bundelkhand area. So many regional factors also at play over here. Now, we are going to be joined by a group of journalists and experts with us on the panel to discuss what's really happening in Madhya Pradesh, and also we will touch upon Chhattisgarh as well. Joining us on the panel right now, Abhilash Khandekar, senior journalist, joins us with a keen focus on Madhya Pradesh. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Also with us is Deshdeep Saxena, author and senior journalist with a keen focus on Madhya Pradesh again. But we will not let go of Chhattisgarh just yet. Avdesh Kumar Malik, senior journalist, joins us and he's going to help us out with what's really happening in Chhattisgarh. Now, quickly coming across to Abhilashji. Abhilashji, right in the morning, I mean, after 2018, look at the number of first-time voters, look at the number of female voters. You know, in India, we usually say that it's a festival. It's a festival of democracy when any particular state or the entire country goes to vote. What's the mood like right now on the ground? We're already getting visuals. People have been moving to these polling booths with much gusto and casting their vote.
I'm very happy to see that the early morning, the first phase of the polling exercise, a lot of people have already gone to the polling stations. And what is to be watched out in Madhya Pradesh is that out of 2.72 crore women voters, how many voters actually turn up to cast their vote and use their franchise, because the Madhya Pradesh Bharatiya Janata Party's focus has been completely on women welfare, and through Ladli Behna and many other schemes, through cash subsidies and bringing down the gas cylinder prices. So it is very interesting because BJP has been terming the Ladli Behna scheme as the game changer. So one has to see whether the beneficiaries of women And the rest of the women, are they all voting for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Out of 2.72, about 1 crore plus voters are the beneficiaries of Ladli Behna. But at the same time, those who have been left out, those who have not been able to get the benefit, they are also not very happy among the women voters I am talking. So this is very interesting factor that we have to see throughout the day, how the women voters are coming to the polling booths, and what is the percentage at the end of the day.
You know,
This
you're
is my
actually
opening
right
comment
in
as far as
pointing out that the woman factor this time around, Abhilash ji, is going to be very interesting and important to note. Deshdeep ji, even as we're talking about how interesting it's going to be for all these first-time voters, how many of them actually step out to vote, and the women factor. We all heard Shivraj Singh Chauhan, not at one public rally, but at several of them, in that emotional tone and tonality, telling the people that if the Congress comes to power, ये लाडली बहना वाली सारी स्कीमें खत्म हो जाएंगी, लाडली बहना वाली सारी स्कीमें खत्म हो जाएंगी. His tone was also quite dramatic and emotional at that front. But let's shift our focus. Let's also talk about the tribal vote early in the morning. How important is that going to be? The Prime Minister's posturing and the political optics. He went to Jharkhand. He commemorated the tribal king Birsa Munda ahead of the second phase of polls. Some 9 odd seats still in Chhattisgarh as well that are heavily dominated by the tribal vote. But in Madhya Pradesh, what's your opinion on that early in the morning?
Well, you pointed it out very well, and it's not about Birsa Munda only. It's 24,000 crore scheme for tribals, and see the timing. Just on the eve of the polling in key states like Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. In Madhya Pradesh, what has happened a few months back, that a BJP worker, a man who was representative of a BJP MLA, he had urinated on a tribal.
Right.
And its video went viral. What BJP did, it immediately disassociated itself from that worker, saying he have nothing to do with him. So tribal, and the video went viral not only in the cities, urban area, but across the tribal land of Madhya Pradesh. We have very crucial areas like the Dhar, the Nimar region of Madhya Pradesh. Dhar, we have Alirajpur, we have Jhabua, we have Dhar, we have Khargone in western Madhya Pradesh. We have Mandla and Dindori. Mandla is the place where famous Kana National Park is located. And the tribal regions of Satna. There is a very key constituency of Nivas, where a cabinet colleague of Mr. Narendra Modi is contesting. He is contesting from Nivas in Mandla district. He is Phaggan Singh Kulaste, and he is having hard time. He is struggling. So you have pointed out very well that tribals vote are very important, and the way Mr. Narendra Modi had launched a 24,000 crore scheme. Then we have a key constituency called Shiopur, and there are two constituencies there, Shiopur and Vijaypur. Here also the Saharia tribes are there. The Saharia tribes are the same tribesmen who were ousted from the famous Kuno National Park.
You're right. Saharia in itself, the name also means living with the tigers. But, yes, ironically, that's not the case. They aren't being allowed to live with the tigers. It's interesting, and we'll touch upon these factors as well. अब खैर ये तो वक्त ही बताएगा कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर के झारखंड जाने का एक्चुअली ऑन ग्राउंड इलेक्शन के दिन कितना फायदा हुआ, and of course we'll have to wait for the voting turnout and percentage to also come. But let's shift our focus towards Chhattisgarh as well. But before that, couple of reactions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly listen in to what the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Kamal Nath, had to say, and a big BJP leader now, Kailash Vijayvargiya, his reaction as well. Let's quickly listen into those.
मैं मतदान करने जा रहा हूँ, पूरा प्रदेश मतदान करने जा रहा है. मुझे पूरे प्रदेश पर विश्वास है कि वह प्रदेश की तस्वीर अपने सामने रख के सब चौपट प्रदेश और सच्चाई का साथ देंगे. मैं जनता पर, मतदाताओं पर विश्वास कर रहा हूं. मैं शिवराज सिंह नहीं हूं कि बोलूं इतनी सीटें आएंगी, उतनी सीटें आएंगी. जनता तय करेगी कि कितनी सीटें आएंगी. मैं लड़ रहा हूं, मैं तो 40 साल से लड़ रहा हूं, 16 साल से लड़ रहा हूं. ये सब अंदाज मैं नहीं लगाता, मैं जनता के ऊपर छोड़ता हूं. नए वोटर्स को तो खास कह रहा हूं कि उनका पहला वोट है, बड़े ध्यान से दें, बड़े समझदारी से दें और अपना भविष्य भी सुरक्षित रखें. बीजेपी के पास अब पहले पुलिस, पैसा और प्रशासन था। अभी भी कुछ घंटों तक पुलिस, पैसा और प्रशासन है। पूरे रात, कल पूरे दिन मुझे फोन आए, मुझे तो वीडियो कॉल किसी ने किया शराब बढ़ते हुए, मुझे वीडियोस भेजे शराब और पैसे बढ़ते हुए।
मतदाताओं से कहना चाहता हूं कि मतदान अवश्य करें। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जिस प्रकार प्रदेश की सेवा की है, मुझे उम्मीद है कि लोग घर से निकलकर वोट डालना प्रारंभ कर दिया है। लंबी लंबी लाइनें भी लगना चालू हो गई है और हम सरकार बनाएंगे, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनाएंगे और डबल इंजन की सरकार मध्य प्रदेश में जैसे पहले हमने विकास किया वैसे हम विकास करेंगे। हम लगभग 150 से ऊपर सीट जीते।
So that's essentially the posturing coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress right early in the morning. It is the day of polling. All 230 seats of Madhya Pradesh going to polls today, albeit just 70 of the Chhattisgarh assembly that are going to vote today. Joining us is Deshdeep Saxena, author and senior journalist. A very warm welcome on the broadcast to you, sir. You know, at the same time, we're going to have to talking about actually, all right, I'm being told that Avdesh Kumar is with us also from Chhattisgarh. I'm going to quickly take this question to them. Avdesh ji, Chhattisgarh, 70 seats, a major chunk is left. Unlike Madhya Pradesh, where you could, safely assume that this is a BJP bastion, the same cannot be said for Chhattisgarh. Last time around, the safe seats for, let's say, a party like Congress, जहां पर कांग्रेस पार्टी लगातार पिछले 3 चुनाव जीतती आ रही है, those particular seats were way higher in number when compared to the Bharatiya Janata Party. The 70 seats today, how do you think the parties are going to fare?
Exactly. I think a few days back, the situation is that it is a cakewalk for Congress party and it can easily win. But now the situation has already changed and the political equations complex, and finally you see that there is a close contest between now BJP and Congress, and here also is the major party among which the main fight is, that is BJP and Congress. Yes, definitely there are some small parties which are creating problems for both the parties, and there are some rebels, and this is a big fight for BJP. It is a fight for existence in BJP in Chhattisgarh. So in last round, they have put their whole power in this whole battle. The 4 MPs are contesting in the state legislative assembly elections, and finally among them, one state minister also, Renuka Singh. So you say that situation is tough for both the parties now.
All right. And in terms of some of the key issues that people are going to vote on today, because 70 seats, it's a major portion that is going to vote today. The Naxal dominated seats was, positioned in the first phase of the polls to Chhattisgarh. For these 70 seats, किस तरीके से key issues बदल गए हैं, sir?
Exactly. When we just see this whole election of the 70 seats, finally, the major thing is that it contains major paddy field grounds, especially those areas, and it has a sweep. Basically, when the Congress has promised they are going to procure paddy on increased rates, and they have also increased the limit. And finally, the loan waiver is making a tremendous inclination of the farmers here in Chhattisgarh. More in this 70 seats, more than 20 lakh farmer families are voting also. So there are the chances of inclination. This is another thing that BJP has also given promised of lots of previous type of situation here also. And one is a Mahatari Jatan Yojana, on which BJP is still counting upon. That is, they have promised to give 12,000, and finally in the last hour, Bhupesh Baghel also launched one promise to launch. So there again, there is a contest. I know this time female voters count is a little bit more than male voters. So again, you have to see there is interesting fight. Yes, this is also the main Bhupesh Baghel cabinet ministers are also fighting here. You know that PWD Minister, Siv Deria is Urban Development Minister,
Right,
Ravindra
right.
Saja, where he is just facing some religious conversion issue. Ishwar Sahu, whose son died in that clash of the religious conversion, is just contesting against him, and Ravindra Chaube is basically seen as the left hand for Bhupesh Baghel cabinet. So again, very interesting fight, and even in the Patan seat where Bhupesh Baghel is contesting,
Right.
despite he has a very good record, he had worked there, and lots of infrastructure projects also happened in those areas. And despite of all this, when the Amit Jogi has just jumped in the poll fray, finally what happens? The fight becomes a little bit triangular because there in that area. It was basically Kurmi dominated area, and the Kurmi and Sahu are the main voter banks, and the third, which used to decide the voting pattern and definitely who is going to win that seat, that is scheduled caste, and that is basically
We'll have to wait and
Satnam.
watch. We'll have to wait and watch. All these points are certainly very, very, very pertinent. You're absolutely right. Let's quickly listen into what the sitting Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh has to say on the day of polling of the second phase of Chhattisgarh. Mind you, 70 seats that are going to polls.
बचे हुए 70 सीटों के आज मतदान होना है और ये प्रजातंत्र का महापर्व है और छत्तीसगढ़ में पर्व मनाने की परंपरा है। हम हरेली मनाते हैं, तीज मनाते हैं, छिरछेरा मनाते हैं, होली और दीपावली भी मनाते हैं। और ये दीपावली पर्व तो भगवान राम जब लंका विजय करके आए थे तो दीपोत्सव के रूप में हम मनाते हैं। और भगवान राम का तो ननिहाल है, माता कौशल्या की मायके है, तो ये खुशी हमारे लिए बहुत बढ़ जाती है। और हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ है, वो छत्तीसगढ़ के लोग हैं उत्सव धर्मी लोग हैं। कोई महीना, कोई पखवाड़ा नहीं जाता जिसमें कोई न कोई तीज त्योहार हो। प्रकृति के साथ मस्त रहने वाले लोग, उन्मुक्त जीवन जीने वाले लोग, आज आप मतदान करेंगे तो इस आपके एक वोट किसानों के, मजदूरों के, महिलाओं के, युवाओं के भविष्य तय करेगा। छत्तीसगढ़ किस रूप में आगे बढ़ेगा ये भी आप इस मतदान से तय होगा। तो साथियों, मतदान करने अपने घर से अवश्य निकलिए, मतदान केंद्र पहुंचिए और मताधिकार का प्रयोग करें और छत्तीसगढ़ को सजाने संवारने के लिए आप मतदान करें। छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता मतदान करेगी। जो किसान है वो ऋण माफी पे 3200 रुपया क्विंटल धान खरीदे पे और 20 क्विंटल धान पे मतदान करेगी। जो हमारे लघु वनोपज संग्राहक है, तेंदुपत्ता संग्राहक है, वो 6000 रुपये प्रति मानक बोरा के दर से जो खरीदी की घोषणा हमने की है और 4000 रुपया बोनस प्रति वर्ष। तो युवा है और छात्र हैं जो वयस्क हो चुके हैं, वो केजी से लेके पीजी तक फ्री एजुकेशन पूरे देश में पहली बार हो रहा है, इसलिए मतदान करेंगे। और मजदूर है, पूरे देश में पहला राज्य छत्तीसगढ़ जिसमें 7000 रुपया वार्षिक हम दे रहे थे, अब 10,000 उसको मिलेगा, इसलिए मतदान करेंगे। और महिलाएं हैं जो स्वावलंबन की ओर छत्तीसगढ़ में हमारी माताएं बहनें बढ़ रही है, अब वो सालाना 15,000 रुपया उसको छत्तीसगढ़ गृह लक्ष्मी योजना के लिए मतदान करेगी।
Well, it seems like both chief ministers are following, a similar suit. On the one hand, you've got somebody like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's putting out those emotional appeals. And we just heard Bhupesh Baghel doing the same. Now, Ashok Tomar, political analyst, joins us on the broadcast here. Ashok ji, we just heard Bhupesh Baghel, but on the Libra scales, what do you think weighs higher? Is it going to be the corruption angle for the people, or is it going to be the aspect of unemployment? I mean, time and again, people are saying a lot of young voters this time around, and for them, jobs is a big issue. But at the same time, for the common man, for the common consumer of news, headlines related to corruption with Chief Minister Baghel is something that is selling. So what do you think on the Libra scales weighs heavier right now?
Okay. In Chhattisgarh, what has happened, that Mr. Baghel has been accused of corruption. But who is accusing him, that is equally important. All the ministers who were allegedly corrupt themselves, I won't say there was any commission against them, but people know them very well. So they were blaming him. Therefore, I personally feel that corruption is not an issue in this election. Number one. Number two, what I have felt, the Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission is almost like an IS in central government. Had this corruption been in the police constable employment, that would have become a bigger problem. Public Service Commission, out of 1,20,000, 80,000 people appear. So it is a problem, but not that big problem as it would have been if there was a constable or any peon or any other. So I think corruption is secondary in this. Number three, what I am saying is that what Congress did in Karnataka, BJP is doing in Chhattisgarh.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that exactly?
40% commission in
40% commission Sarkara, the tagline, the Pay CM campaign.
Yes.
All
so
right.
Here they are having 30%. That is what they are. And Congress is more on the religious side. The main plank of BJP has been taken away by the Congress party, which is Hindutva, Mata Kausalya Mandir, Ram One Path Gaman. All they have made, and Bhupesh has been, shall I say, very actively participating in all the festivals of Chhattisgarh. Third is the Chhattisgarhiya feeling. Chhattisgarhiya, that two things will go in favor of this thing. This
all
is
right.
my...
All right. You know what? Again, a pertinent aspect that has been brought to light. But if jobs are important to Chhattisgarh, let me tell you, jobs are equally important for all of Madhya Pradesh as well. Let me quickly cut across to Abhilash Khandekar. Abhilash, jobs, and I was listening to some students from Bhopal, talk to various media channels. Students are really looking forward to these vacant jobs being filled up. That's going to be one of the prime aspect for students and these first-time voters to actually go out and vote. What do you have to say on that?
Indeed, the job or rather the unemployment issues are dominating these elections as well. And while the Madhya Pradesh government or maybe Shivraj Singh Chauhan government in the last 3.5 years after it bounced back after the Kamal Nath government collapse, they have been repeatedly saying they will create jobs. They also held job fairs, etc. in the last 2 years, maybe because of the COVID and Corona impact. There were no such job fairs, but they have been loudly saying that they will offer jobs. But where are the jobs? The issue is is also linked to the education system and also the opportunities within the government. Now, Congress is talking of the caste census because they want to identify how many OBCs are there so that they can be brought into the mainstream through various jobs in police or other departments. Madhya Pradesh government has been, that is BJP government, has been repeatedly talking, and they have also said this thing in the manifesto. But the manifesto, if you see, is full of all kinds of promises which are veering around the freebies. Whether the Ladli Behna, now the amount has disappeared and Ladli Behna will get a house. When will they get a house? Nobody knows. So there are, as far as the question is concerned, that the jobs, so jobs are still elusive in Madhya Pradesh. And it is not a big industrialized state, despite many industrial fairs also. So more and more industries if come, then because Shivraj Singh Chauhan has also said that there is a limitation to offering jobs within the government. So jobs will be created or startups, etc., will be started so that the youths who are passing out of the colleges will get jobs outside the government. But that has not really happened. So jobs remain a major poll plank.
And Abhilash, you know, it's interesting that you use the word industry over here, because in a stark comparison, even as the GSDP of Madhya Pradesh is higher than Chhattisgarh, it seems like the indicators of growth seem to do better in the state of Chhattisgarh, and industry has a big role to play over there. What do you think is working out for Chhattisgarh that's probably not working out for Madhya Pradesh?
When in 2000, November 2000, when Chhattisgarh was created from Madhya Pradesh, so major mining and major power industry that went away to Chhattisgarh, which is a smaller state. Of course, it is Naxalite dominated, but Naxalism has also come down in a big way. So iron ore and related industries have come up, and it has become a power hub for the country also. So Chhattisgarh in the last, even credit should be given to Raman Singh also, the BJP leader earlier, who ruled for 15 years, that in Chhattisgarh, they have attracted huge investments in power and mining sectors. There were also diamond mining projects which did not take off, but iron ore and related assorted industries have come to Raipur and other areas. And definitely Chhattisgarh has done well as far as industry is concerned. Madhya Pradesh has also been trying to attract large investments. Ambanis and Adanis have been coming here in different sectors, whether they are creating silos or where they are starting other industries. Fact remains that Madhya Pradesh is yet to be fully industrialized, despite large industrial clusters in Pithampur or Malanpur or Devas and other places in Madhya Pradesh.
All right. Deshdeep ji, you know, factionalism is also a huge factor. आए दिन सिंधिया लॉयलिस्ट के बारे में खबर आती है, आए दिन दिग्विजय किस तरीके से अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, उनके बेटे किस तरीके से अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं. All these headlines have been, you know, making their way into people's homes, on their doorsteps every day in the morning. Factionalism, how big of an issue do you think this is? And if this is happening on both sides, because I mean, it's safe to say it's not only happening on the BJP side, it's happening on both sides. Which side is it more detrimental at this point in time?
Listen, as you said, it is happening on both sides. But BJP, it seems, is more affected by the factionalism. You know, factionalism we used to heard more in Congress a few years ago. But I suppose what has happened in Congress, there are hardly any leaders left. So there are only two big leaders left, which is Mr. Digvijay Singh and Kamal Nath ji. And as you rightly said in your opening statement, that Kapde Phado Rajniti was there. Kamal Nath's famous jibe ki jao Kapde Phado, Jayawardhan Singh or Digvijay Singh ke. But you know, it seems that they have patched up, or they have managed after that, and there is hardly any factionalism left in Congress. But yes, BJP it's a huge issue. In fact, Digvijay Singh coined this phrase a few months ago, that in one Bhajpa, in one BJP, there are in fact several BJPs. Like there is Naraj BJP, there is Maharaj BJP, there is Shivraj BJP.
I mean, quite ironic coming from Digvijay, a party like Congress that has the G23, that has then, you know, a subversive team inside a team. All of that happens on their front as well. But do go on. Sorry to cut you short.
Which is why I suppose, since he was more, you know, had more knowledge about factionalism, which is why he was able to coin this phrase. And it is actually happening on the ground, you know. After Scindia entered in Madhya Pradesh, we saw how Congress government was toppled. He entered BJP with his 22 Congress supporters. Congress government toppled. But a large section of BJP, they were not happy after his entry, and they were not able to digest Scindia's presence in BJP. Then these people, they were known as Shivraj BJP and Naraj BJP, all those, you know, who were not happy with him. then what has started happening is that many BJP leaders who were not happy after Scindia's entry, and they saw that they would not get ticket there, they crossed over to Congress. And important among those was Deepak Joshi. He is son of a former BJP chief minister, Mr. Kailash Joshi. He entered Congress, and he is also fighting elections. In fact, all of them who had crossed over from BJP to Congress, they may not have got tickets, but the bickering is continuing. See what is happening.
And I think this bickering is going to continue after the results also are out. After the results are out, this bickering is going to continue.
Definitely. How do we expect it to be over, overnight? Yep. It is going on, and that's why all eyes are on Gwalior Chambal region, where Scindia is having its stronghold. And there are 35 seats there.
It was a clean sweep for the Congress in 2018, if I'm not wrong. It was a clean sweep for the Congress in 2018 in this particular region because of Jyotiraditya Scindia himself. And this time around, what's really going to happen? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. I want to shift our focus. There are a couple of reactions that have come in. I wanted to play out those and shift our focus, talk a little bit about Chhattisgarh as well. But before we move on to, Abhilash ji, Project Cheetah, the Kuno National Park. I mean, there's a weird history behind this as well. It was essentially meant for the lions. Then Gujarat never really let out any of the lions from their own state. Then it was, the tigers. No tiger really propped up there. Finally, it was the cheetahs. And the Project Cheetah hasn't really kicked off. Now, let's not get into the numbers, but is it really an issue right now in Madhya Pradesh, Project Cheetah?
This is a very important issue that you have raised in a narrative that we are talking around on the elections, and this wildlife issue is very important. And I was nominated on the Cheetah Task Force also by the Government of India. So in the Shokpur Kala, what you raised issue is right. It was essentially meant for the Gir lion, that is Asiatic lion. But despite a Supreme Court order, the government of Gujarat did not allow even 2 animals to be shifted to Kuno Palpur. Eventually, after 10 years, it was decided that since the Gujarat animals are not coming to Madhya Pradesh, there was a case in the Supreme Court with Mr. Ranjit Singh fought, and Ranjit Singh and Divya Bhanu Singh Chawda for the last 15-20 years, they have been trying to bring in cheetahs. Finally, they succeeded, and cheetahs have come to that area of near Gwalior and earlier part of the Gwalior princely state. But now cheetahs are doing well, the deaths have stopped. But the issue is about if the tourism starts there, then the local population will be benefited. Now it is more than 1 year. Last September 2022, the cheetahs were translocated from Africa and also Namibia into Kuno National Park, and they are doing well. But if the tourism does not start, we have seen it in Panna, where tigers were completely decimated, and then the tourism was impacted. Like in Kana or Bandhavgarh, where tourism is booming. So local people are not against the wildlife conservation. Unfortunately, that has happened in some part of Gandhinagar, which is the second sanctuary which is likely to have cheetahs once the second batch comes from South Africa and Namibia. But for the local Kuno and Palpur area, which is dominated by Saharia tribals and others, there is definitely a point that if all the forested areas are no-go areas and there are huge restrictions, then naturally the farmers and the local tribals will be antagonized. As of now, there is no such situation. But if the tourism, which has not been opened yet because of the tiger deaths and many other issues, once tourism opens, hotels come there and local people get jobs, I think that animosity will go down.
All right. But I personally believe that there are still a lot of factors at play. If the tourism begins, then of course you push out the tribals then a little bit more away from their actual habitat. And the Forest Rights Act, that is something that is a sensitive and a touchy topic when we're looking at Madhya Pradesh. But we'll move on to Chhattisgarh. But before we do that, a reaction coming from Prahlad Singh Patel. Let's quickly play that out.
मध्य प्रदेश के सभी मतदाताओं से ये प्रार्थना करता हूँ, और विशेषकर नरसिंहपुर जिले के लोगों से, हम आज बिल्कुल तत्काल ही मतदान केंद्रों पर जाएं और 100% मतदान के अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करें। और मैं उम्मीदवार हूं और मेरी पार्टी के लिए मैं जरूर चाहूँगा कि आशीर्वाद मिले और मत मिले। विकास के लिए हम सब एकजुट होकर मतदान करें, यही निवेदन।
Well, let's quickly shift our focus towards Chhattisgarh over here now. Avdesh Kumar Malik, senior journalist, continues to be with us on the broadcast. Avdesh ji, how the party is placed ahead of the second phase voting? 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the time when the 70 seats go to polls. The key issues, a little bit of a roundup. It is going to be a straight face-off between the BJP and the Congress. But how are the parties, how are they placed right now?
Exactly. The main key issue here is the paddy.
Paddy procurement. That is going to be it. Paddy procurement is going to be the name of the game.
Yeah. It depends upon how the party has put their issues or spread their agenda within the public. Is a game changer.
And how have the parties been able to do that? Which party has been able to do that better? Kisan, Dhan. These are two words that politicians have been using across the spectrum. But which party has been able to, really manipulate, really penetrate the public?
इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं हो सकती कि भूपेश बघेल has made roots in this area, especially paddy filled areas, and which has a great number of voters. And even in Durg division or in Raipur division or in the rest of the areas, the paddy is an issue because these are the areas where a huge amount of the paddy is cultivated and used to get sold. So when the government has just promised to procure and it has increased the limit, then definitely there is some inclination as seen in the people, basically in the farmers. Apart from this, there are also several issues. But you have, if you are just following about the Chhattisgarh, you have seen there are different sorts of anti-mining protests.
Right.
Surprisingly, this time I haven't seen any anti-mining protest or the people are protesting against the parties who have supported the mining giants.
Why do you think so? Why do you think that has happened this time around? What is so peculiar about 2023 that something like this wasn't witnessed back in 2017, 2018? I understand where you're coming from. There were a lot of anti-mining protests. You're right. We don't see them nowadays. But what do you think is the reason behind that?
You are asking me or Thomas?
I'm asking you, sir.
The first thing is that the people who are spearheading this protest, as you can just see that they are just making campaign for the particular party, and definitely when the leader is just doing that, who is going to take those issues in the public? So finally, and second thing is that in those all areas, which is used to be called as the little bit disturbed in the context of mining projects are concerned, people are especially getting lots of cash and freebies or what sort of thing. So their moves are a little bit manipulated. And here in Chhattisgarh, said Bakra Bhat, and the liquor has been easily reached to those areas.
All right,
and
then.
Especially the people who used to get.
Well, money makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. Tomar Saab also with us, continues to be with us on the broadcast with a keen, perspective and eye on Chhattisgarh. Tomar ji, what do you think? Yeah. I mean, from what we're hearing, it seems like Bhupesh Baghel has got his strategy really right and he's hit the nail on the head. What do you think has worked out for Bhupesh Baghel that hasn't really worked out for the Bharatiya Janata Party? I mean, the Congress's strategy, it seems like, has been on point. They knew Chhattisgarh in and out, it seems.
Okay. See, Bhupesh Baghel has been working very hard. And so many times he has spoken against Prime Minister also. He has given open challenge to the Prime Minister also about Chhattisgarh. A few days back, he challenged even Amit Shah, the Home Minister. So people in Chhattisgarh are seeing their Chief Minister as the captain of the party.
Right.
No doubt, Rahul Gandhi has also played vital role. Priyanka Gandhi is also. But for Congress in Chhattisgarh, if you ask me, it is Bhupesh Baghel, who has really done very well.
And the common man likes to see that the chief minister is somebody that can take on, let's say, the prime minister or the home minister, or at least give it back to them in their own music and tune.
Yeah. That's number one.
All right.
Can I add?
Ji.
He is also very good in anticipating the problems. And not only anticipating the problem, analyzing the problem and finding out solution, and at the same time, after some time, executing the solution. So I'll just cite you one example. 12,000 was given for the women, and he came to know that is becoming a big issue. It is being talked at panchayat level. Therefore, what he did, within 2 or 3 days, he announced 15,000. And that balanced BJP edge over Congress. Now, they're both of them, I mean, Congress is giving more to the women. And he added not to the married, even unmarried women will get 15,000, where BJP is giving to the married women. So you can see how he thinks and how he executes the problem.
Actually, and would you like to throw some light also on the aspect of the OBC factor over here as well? Because, this is another matter of concern is the population, which is 52% in the state, and the demands are being raised for a 27% quota. And let me tell you that the governor's run-ins with the Congress government have also not been very cordial over the last couple of months.
Yeah, both of them were blaming each other. Chief Minister said that I have sent this thing to the governor, and governor is not passing, and governor is saying, give the proper this thing, I will do it. Central this thing, there is a court case also in High Court. But again, in this place, Bhupesh Baghel was having an edge. He could explain to the people that whatever I am doing is being objected by the central government. He was successful in explaining through the media, through his personal talk, and through various seminars and this thing. He could convince the people that he is really interested. More or less, Chhattisgarh has maximum number of OBC. So OBC upper caste is not a problem. Again, but if you see, surprisingly, in Raipur area, maximum seats were given to the Brahmins. Although it is a OBC state, whether Raipur Vikas Upadhyaya, Satnarayan Sarma San, Mahant, all of them are Purandar Mishra, City North. All of them were Brahmins, despite the number of OBC in Raipur was much more than any other community.
All right. You know what? It's interesting because the OBC factor is another factor that it's play in the state of Madhya Pradesh as well. I'm going to quickly go across to Deshdeep Saxena. Deshdeep ji, in terms of the OBC factor, we just got an understanding of what it's going to be like in Chhattisgarh, but it's almost around 50% in the state of Madhya Pradesh as well. Would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, definitely, it is making news in Madhya Pradesh, especially the way Rahul Gandhi is continuously talking about it.
Kamal Nath has been speaking about OBC and the
definitely Rahul Gandhi, Kamal Nath, and the whole of Congress is talking about it, knowing that the incumbent chief minister, Mr. Shivraj Singh, he is from this OBC category, and there's a very interesting fact also. OBCs, they are keenly watching how Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been sidelined in BJP by the central leadership. In the present scenario, they have refused to, the BJP central leadership has refused to name Shivraj Singh Chauhan as the next chief minister. And all these issues are being watched keenly by the OBCs. And as you said, there are 50% OBCs in Madhya Pradesh. So it is definitely a factor in Madhya Pradesh. And when we talk to these sections in different regions, like, the Baghelkhand, Vindhya Pradesh, the Malwa region, or in Gwalior Chambal region, they are very vocal about it. Yes, they are waiting what happened if Congress comes to power. So definitely it is creating a buzz in Madhya Pradesh. The issue is important.
Right, and to add to the problems of the Bharatiya Janata Party, you've got somebody like former Chief Minister Uma Bharti, who's not happy with it. She's looking for, a reservation within a reservation when it comes to women reservation, OBC reservation within a women's reservation. But, it's again ironic that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been calling the INDIA bloc as a rudderless ship. It's been saying, "Ye to bin dule ki barat." And take a look at what's happening in Madhya Pradesh, Abhilash ji. You don't have a chief ministerial face for somebody like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's been one of the longest serving chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh. The OBC factor, your opinion on that?
So Shivraj Singh has been also talking about the 27% OBC reservation. They had gone even to High Court and then to Supreme Court last year, but nothing has really happened, because when Kamal Nath government came for 15 months, they had declared 27% reservation to the OBC class. And now when there is a talk of the class census on caste, I think the OBCs may stand to gain. But as of today, the OBCs are divided between BJP and Chhattisgarh, BJP and Congress. And if you remember, in 2018, there was firing in Morena and Bhind area by the OBCs, and there was a fight between Thakurs and OBCs.
Right.
And that had ruined the chances of Shivraj Singh. And Shivraj Singh had personally told me that the OBC fight and the reservations and the government of India's announcement had adversely impacted the OBC voting pattern in Madhya Pradesh. So as of today, the OBC reservation continues to be a major issue for Madhya Pradesh, although Prime Minister has also said that he is the first Prime Minister from the OBC category. I don't think that has cut much ice with the public, because Madhya Pradesh had Uma Bharti, Madhya Pradesh had Babulal Gaur, and Madhya Pradesh has Shivraj Singh. All three coming from the OBC category. Issue is of governance and the anti-incumbency factor, which has built up over a period of 20 years or minus 15 months. So people are talking of badlao. So that badlao, whether it is affecting OBCs, tribals, general category and others, is to be seen. And because both the parties have also given tickets on that basis, tickets to women, because the reservation bill has been already tabled in the Parliament and Rajya Sabha both. So people are talking about 33% reservation. And you rightly pointed out that Uma Bharti wanted OBC reservation within the women reservation. Supreme Court in 1992 verdict had already sealed the ceiling for 50% reservation. So 50% and then additional 27%, which Bihar Assembly has passed another bill. So this reservation imbroglio is going to create problems in the upper caste also. And there are a lot of people who are saying that how much reservation can be given to which categories. So we will have to wait for the outcome of the voting patterns in these elections to see which way the OBCs go.
Right. And, very quickly, Deshdeep ji, crime rate in the state of Madhya Pradesh, crime, it seems, has become a big issue over the last 5 years. I mean, of course, that urinating incident that, right at the forefront of the show, Abhilash ji had brought up. Crime, how has it helped the Congress party this time around?
Well, not only the crime, it's about governance. It's about governance. And as you said, as you talked about crime, see the situation of crime against women in Madhya Pradesh. The section which is being targeted by Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan with the help of Ladli Behna Yojana. Why do you need a Ladli Behna Yojana when you have been in power for last so many years, 16 and a half years, only Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan ruled. Then 1 year rule of Ms. Uma Bharti and Mr. Babulal Gaur. So 18 and a half years they ruled, but still, we would have been happy if they talked about, if they showcased the achievements of the government, how they brought down crime. If you talk to the chief minister, he would talk about how he had eliminated dacoity in Madhya Pradesh, how Naxalism was eliminated. He may be correct to some extent, but what about the day-to-day crime and the crime against women? How many women have been missing in Madhya Pradesh? The central agencies, the National Crime Record Bureau, we have all the statistics there, which shows that crime against women or the general crime in Madhya Pradesh has been on the rise. The petty crime against women, in this capital city of Bhopal. So you have rightly pointed out, and as I said, it's not only crime, it's total governance in Madhya Pradesh, which should be discussed, which should be talked about, and which is why BJP government, they went for Ladli Behna Yojana.
Which is why also they haven't really put a finger on the CM's face because, question marks on governance issues. Abhilashji, you want to come in very quickly, please?
Yes, very quickly, like Deshdeep also said, Shivraj Singh Chauhan does not seem to be a great asset for the BJP, and in the last 15-20 days, the entire election campaign has been taken over by the High Command, with Prime Minister coming to the state every now and then. He has visited and he has held rallies. After the election, the code of conduct came in, he has held 15 rallies, which is unprecedented. So that is, and all the holdings in Madhya Pradesh, they show only Prime Minister and his guarantees. So Bharatiya Janata Party is also banking heavily on the Modi's guarantee, and they have already played a jingle and other slogans that PM ke man mein Modi, PM ke man mein Madhya Pradesh, or Madhya Pradesh ke man mein PM. So entire focus has been shifted away from Shivraj Singh because it appeared very strongly that there is a anti-incumbency wave against Shivraj Singh as well as the ministers who are involved in kind of corruption, or the perception has gone that there have been corrupt ministers all over Madhya Pradesh, and Shivraj Singh has been talking of zero tolerance about corruption, but there has been huge corruption in Madhya Pradesh, and therefore I think combination of factors has pushed Shivraj Singh behind, and Modi has completely taken over the campaign.
A lot of people started writing editorials after that great and huge mandate of the Congress party in Karnataka that, maybe the BJP was relying too much on the Prime Minister. Maybe something like that is happening here as well. Abhilashji, yeah, do go on.
See, the Congress also, they took a cue from Karnataka campaign where 40% commission actually helped the Congress with the seats and drive the point that corruption was huge in BJP government in Karnataka. In Madhya Pradesh, they said it is 50% commission. They tried to show certain letters from contractors and others, whether they are credible or not, it is a different issue. But fact remains that people understand that corruption has not been able to be curbed or controlled by Shivraj Singh government. There is a large number of a sub-engineer was caught with huge amount of property in the police housing corporation. So there are large number of cases in Lokayukta, large number of, and people know that nothing happens without greasing the palms of the officers. So corruption, unfortunately, but I must also say here that corruption, unfortunately, remains an issue with the opposition. If BJP comes to opposition, it will say Congress was corrupt. And now Congress, when it is BJP in opposition in Madhya Pradesh, they are saying 50%. I believe that because I have met large number of people who say that nothing moves in the government, in municipal corporations, in other government agencies without giving money. And large number of cases are being seen in newspapers and in other media that people have been caught taking. Even in Shivraj Singh's Vidisha Jila, there was a person who was caught with crores of scams in the Mukhyamantri wedding program, that is Mukhyamantri Kanya Vivaha Yojana. So there have been number of incidences in the last 2 years where large number of corruption cases have been unearthed, but Shivraj has not been very stern about it, barring only talking to media and giving statements that he is absolutely non-tolerant about corruption, but he has not been able to take effective actions.
Well, Abhilashji and Deshdeepji, I'll let you in on a personal anecdote. My alma mater is this India school. It was the 125th year reunion this time around, and the Prime Minister, it seems, was the chief guest. And with the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister of the state, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Governor, you had the Union Agriculture Minister also in attendance. And I'll tell you what, not usually do you go to the BJP headquarters in all these states and you get to see these stalwarts. But over there, I had in front of me the Prime Minister, the Agriculture Minister, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and Shivraj Singh Chauhan did not have a smile on his face. It was as if, the parent-teacher meeting was on and the report card wasn't right for the Chief Minister. On that note, Abhilash Khandekar, senior journalist, and Deshdeep Saxena, author and senior journalist, many thanks for joining with us. Deshdeep ji and Abhilash ji are going to be with us throughout the day, helping us with the latest details. And on the other hand, Avdesh Kumar Malik and Ashok Tomar ji, very quickly, Avdesh ji, is it an easy sale for the Congress party, yes or no?
No.
It's not going to be an easy sale.
I can see it's no, because the situation is complex. Because the BJP, I have seen there is a recharge in BJP cadre workers, and they are just going and fetching the houses and just convincing the people. So BJP has here in Chhattisgarh its own cadre votes, and it in very rare chances it get into deflected to some other parties or something. Only thing is depending upon how the BJP worker and leaders are convincing them.
Okay, and Ashok Tomarji, your quick prediction. I know I don't like, pushing political analysts to jump the gun, but a prediction right here because we're running out of time. Do you think it's going to be an easy sale for the Congress?
It's neck to neck fight.
Neck and neck fight?
Yeah.
Well, all right, then you've got Ashok Tomar, political analyst, and Avdesh Kumar Malik, senior journalist, both telling us that it's going to be a neck-and-neck fight in Chhattisgarh. Many thanks for joining with us here, gentlemen. Avdesh and Ashok ji are also going to be with us throughout the day, bringing us all the latest details from Chhattisgarh. Mind you, 70 seats that are going to be polls in Chhattisgarh in the second phase, and all 230 of Madhya Pradesh's seats are going to polls today. That's all the time we have for you in this Mandate 2023 special. Lots more coming right on the other side. Don't go anywhere.